Howdy folks, hope you're all enjoying your weekend and welcome back to Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the mighty Jingles. And when last we left our intrepid hero, young Cassandra here had just had the foundations of her ancient Greek world shaken by finding out that a shadowy secret organisation known as the Cult of Cosmos had their finger in every political pie across the length and breadth of Greece, and for reasons known so far only to themselves, appear to be determined to hunt down and either control or kill every surviving member of Cassandra's family. The Greek historian Herodotos of Athens has promised us help in Athens. First, however, he wants to meet us at Thermopylae.
The path of betrayal. This is where that traitor snuck the Persian army past Sparta's defences.
In case that name is sounding familiar to you, congratulations, well done. You're either a student of history or you've watched 300. Thermopylae was the site of a battle in the year 480 BC during the second Persian invasion of Greece, where the famous 300 Spartans, led by King Leonidas, held off a Persian army numbering anything between 100 and 150,000 troops in one of history's most famous last stand battles that lasted 3 days before the eventual annihilation of the Greek forces. It's not strictly fair to all of the other Greeks who were present at the battle to give the credit squarely to the Spartans. Depending on who you ask, there were anything between 5 and nearly 8,000 Greeks present at the battle, although the battle was being fought over a number of key passes, with the most important one being at Thermopylae itself. There was also a naval battle at Artemisium taking place at exactly the same time, and both of the battles were actually masterminded by the Athenian general Themistocles. At the time, Themistocles himself commanded the naval forces at the Battle of Artemisium. Here at Thermopylae, however, after 3 days of fighting, a traitor, going by the name of Ephialtes, led a force of Persians through a secret pass, which is, here in the game, supposed to be this, the Cave of Kratos, that allowed them to completely outflank the defending Greek forces. This was the point where King Leonidas of Sparta, realising that they were about to be outflanked and annihilated, dismissed all of the other Greek defenders and stayed with his 300 Spartans for their epic last stand. Not all of the defending Greek forces took King Leonidas up on his offer of retreating and evacuating the battlefield before they were surrounded. Around 700 Thespians, under the general Demophilus, decided that they were going to stay and fight it out to the bitter end alongside the Spartans. Also around about 400 Thebans, which was quite unusual because at the time the city-state of Thebes had actually submitted to the Persians. The battle has a particular significance for young Cassandra here, because King Leonidas of Sparta is her grandfather, and the broken spear that she carries is the spear that he fought with in the battle.
Taking this path feels as if I'm betraying Sparta too.
Of course, this is all completely academic unless we can actually reach the gates of Thermopylae. And this cave appears to be infested with worshippers of Ares, Greek god of war. And I've been spotted. Arrow in the face for you, arrow in the face for you, and an arrow in the face for you. Arrows in the face for everybody. Poison arrows. They are for winners. Right, there's a clan chief in there. And another one of his minions. Looks like the chief's coming up to meet me. Well, you know what that means, don't you? It must be time for... This is Sparta! I love that ability. No, he's coming back for more. I fear he may soon come to regret that hasty decision. And then we'll take his stuff. Junk. Rubbish. I feel vaguely cheated now. Let's go and see what his little friends were carrying. Hey you, empty your pockets. Oh, hello. There's a note on him. A clue to the identity of one of the Cult of Cosmos. We're going to have to investigate this. We already have the identities of a handful of the cultists, but we're about to unveil another one, belonging to the worshippers of the bloodline sect of the Cult of Cosmos. Who's this guy?
I will follow Deimos to the underworld, and bring my hordes with us.
Turns out the Cult of Cosmos have got their fingers in more pies than I thought possible. using this fella here, they've also infiltrated the cult of Ares and are actually controlling them from behind the scenes. So that's good to know, especially since I now know where to find that guy, and I can stick something long and sharp and pointy into him. For now, however, welcome to Malice, where we're going to meet Herodotos at the site of the Battle of Thermopylae.
All my life I've heard stories of Leonidas. I can't believe I'm finally seeing where history was made.
And that's the bay where Xerxes landed his army, on the shore, just down there. And over there is the mountain pass. Let's take a closer look using Icarus. The battle was called Thermopylae, because that's basically Greek for hot gates. And it was called the hot gates because of, well, this down here. It's a thermal spring. You get a bit lower, you can see the steam coming from the surface of the water. So that explains the hot part. But what about the gates? Well, if you have a look, you can see how it was possible for a tiny Greek force with 300 Spartans in the front to hold off a Persian army of 100 to 150,000 men. You see, it doesn't really matter if your army is 150,000 strong, because if you have to fight in there, not more than 30 to 40 of them can actually fight at once. And that's why Themistocles of Athens picked this as the location for the defence. And that's where Leonidas and his 300 Spartans, and a few hundred other free Greeks, made their last stand. It's worth pointing out that Xerxes actually won the battle, although it did cost him. Herodotus estimated that the Persian army lost 20,000 men in the 3 days of fighting. Speaking of Herodotus, there he is over there.
Thermopylae. They say you can't walk this battlefield without getting blood on your toes. This is where Leonidas was laid to rest. I wish I had known him.
Sadly, he died before you were born, Cassandra. Anyway, let's see what Herodotus wanted to meet us here for.
If you close your eyes, you can hear them. Their final war cries, before every last one of those brave Spartans perished. Their voices were silenced that day, but their story will be sung for an eternity.
You didn't bring me here to talk about dead Spartans. What's on your mind, Herodotos?
The Battle of Thermopylae still echoes in our hearts, but to stand here is to feel it in your bones.
There's nothing here but ghosts. My concerns are with the living.
Hold out your spear.
My spear? What for?
I need to know something.
Herodotos!
I'm fine. I'm fine. The stories are true. That is the spear of Leonidas. The hero's blade.
You knew this would happen.
I didn't know, but I did suspect. There is a place I'd convinced myself was a dream. Until now. A peculiar structure on the island of Andros. Mysterious shapes carved in stone. Like nothing I've ever seen.
You want to sail to Andros so you can show me shapes?
In my travels, I heard whispers of an ancient civilization. A people who came before. Your spear and that place are connected.
You mentioned a people that came before. Who were they?
They were not gods, but they lived far longer than any mortal, and were far more intelligent. I've seen carvings in caves, strange symbols that suggest it was this ancient civilization that created humankind, and provided them with fire.
But Zeus blamed Prometheus.
Yes. Well, perhaps his eagle has been feasting on the wrong liver.
The spear awakened to you, Herodotos. I trust you.
You understand. I will do everything in my power to help you find your mother. I promise. But first, we must sail to the island of Andros.
I'll meet you at my ship.
It's also worth pointing out that despite being the architect of the eventual Greek victory over the Persians, Themistocles fell out of favour and ended up being ostracised from Athens.
Welcome aboard the Adrestia, Herodotos. Will you be traveling with us?
Only for a short trip. I have business to attend to in Athens.
Herodotos is helping me find my mother.
Seeking help from the gods has put Herodotos on your path, just like they put you on mine. They work in ways beyond our comprehension, and all we can do is follow their lead.
You could be right. Herodotos and I share enemies too.
Like El Pinor.
He was part of a very powerful group called the Cult of Cosmos that controls the Greek world through the Oracle.
Control the Oracle! Impossible! Apollo would not allow that!
Now they're looking for my mother. I need to find her before they do.
And I believe they will hurt others who oppose their views along the way.
By Hermes! The Oracle lost to corruption, and now this cult? Do we know who leads them?
I don't know for sure, but I think it might be my brother.
Your brother? By Zeus, your life is complicated!
Tell me about it.
But don't you worry, this cult of Cosmos now has 3 new enemies, and one of them fights like Athena and shits thunder like Zeus! We'll bring the wrath of the gods down upon them!
Is he always this positive?
Always. That's why I like him.
Poseidon, carry us to Athens!
First, we need to go to Andros.
To Andros, then!
I love Barnabas. Simple but honest. But anyway, yes, Themistocles. Got a bit too big for his boots and made a lot of enemies. Ended up being ostracised or exiled from Athens. But he'd made so many enemies that nowhere in Greece was safe for him. And ironically, he ended up living out his days serving the court of the Persian Empire. He apparently made quite an impression on Artaxerxes, the son of Xerxes, and ended up as the governor of Magnesia, where he died at the age of 65 of natural causes. Anyway, that's enough about Themistocles for now. I say for now because we will be hearing more of him later, or we'll be coming across some of the notes that he wrote in his travels across Greece. But for now, we're on the trail of a cultist who just happens to be not too far away from the island of Andros, which is where Herodotus wants us to go next. And that's his ship up ahead. That's a very nice ship he's got. It's a shame I'm going to have to fuck it up, but good. I'll turn up with the archery volley. Herodotus, clearly Herodotus is a World of Tanks artillery player because he's completely oblivious to the fact that he's actually in a naval battle. Herodotos, concentrate on the matter at hand, that would be fantastic.
Just before it happens.
Okay, we've set them on fire.
This is just extraordinary.
Need to keep an eye on those pirate Pentecosters up ahead as well, because they're going to join the fight if we give them half a chance. Let's try to get in position for a ram. I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid getting the attention of those pirate ships.
Go! Let's move it!
But there are ways of recovering health in a naval battle.
Enemy is about to lose!
We'll brace.
Watch out! Standing away!
Go on, boys. Give it back.
Let's move!
Enemy's ready to fire at us!
Here it comes again.
Firing arrows!
Let's try and get some rower stamina back.
And gearing up to ram us!
I'm going to have to break.
Speed
Well, that
up!
Pentecoster will ram us. Yeah.
Fast as we
Yeah.
can, Commander!
Rowers are out of stamina, have to turn away.
Archers! Forward!
The Pentecosters are probably actually going to be easier to deal with than the cultist ship. Maybe I should deal with them
In
first.
position!
Rowers have got some stamina back.
Archers!
Javelins away. Archers up. Okay, the fire braziers are ready to go. Let's see if we can get somebody set on fire. Avoided the ram.
They are headed straight for us!
Rowers are low on stamina again. Swing the ship around. Took it on the nose. Minimal damage.
Archers! Ready up!
Come on.
Incoming arrows!
Attack! Get ready to fire!
Narrowly avoided the ram again. Right, we're going to cleave this guy. That's going to recover some health. Nice. One Pentecoster less to worry about. Here comes the cultist ship. Oh, he's going to try to ram. And just managed to avoid it.
Let's see what they make of fire! Ready your bows! Get them!
We're taking damage again. Let's finish that Pentecoster off. Get it out of the fight. Okay, good. Now the cultist. You can completely recover the health of your ship by fighting a successful boarding action. But I just want this guy dead. Braced for the arrow volley. Ramming speed. Gotcha. He's ready to fire again. But 2 can play out that game. He's set on fire. Giving the rowers a chance to recover some stamina, and I'm just going to finish him off with a round. And we got him. So we got the loot. We also recovered a note addressed to Asterion himself, which is going to give us a clue as to the identity of another cultist. Oh my god, another pirate ship. A galley this time. Okay, well, ramming speed. We've also managed to get, because each of the cultists, once you kill them, are going to reward you with a piece of a legendary item set. Asterion was a member of the subsect of the cult of Cosmos, the gods of the Aegean Sea.
Fast as we can!
And eliminating each of those guys rewards you with a piece of the pirate legendary set, which is a very, very nice set indeed. Particularly if you like sneaking up behind people and stabbing them in the back. Right, is that it? We just got the one last Pentecoster over there to finish off, but the ship's been disabled. My ship's back up to full health. I don't really need to board this guy. You do get more loot if you board the ship, but nah. So we're going to finish this thing off. Rowers are back on full stamina, and we're just going to cleave it
Rowers! Go! We're moving now!
because it's always impressive. So, with Asterion taken care of, it's time to set sail at long last for the island of Andros to find out what it is that Herodotus thinks is so important. And by a lucky coincidence,
Lower the oars!
Andros is also the location of yet another cultist that we have identified from the stack of letters that we stole from the cultist meeting underneath the Temple of Apollo at Delphi.
Much to do.
And since there's a cultist here anyway, it would be Very rude of us not to stop by and assassinate him on the way. Not quite sure who this guy is or what the hell he's doing here, but if they're going to make it as easy as this, I'm certainly not going to complain. Okay. I think we're about close enough. As well as the cultist himself, there's a captain and 2 cultist guards. Actually, while we're here, let's take a look at the intelligence that we gathered from Asterion. It's given us our first clue as to the identity of the sage in charge of the gods of the Aegean Sea subsect of the cult of Cosmos. All we know at the moment is that they're a ship captain. And judging by the loot that they're going to drop, they're also level 50, so we're probably not going to be tracking down and killing them anytime soon. There's the legendary set piece that we got from killing Asterion. 15% damage with assassin abilities, assuming you have all 5 set pieces. And we did pick up another clue from killing Asterion as to an as yet undiscovered cultist, also belonging to the gods of the Aegean Sea. There's the clue. But it turns out we can't fully unmask and actually identify this cultist until we've weakened the political power of the Obsidian Islands, which will trigger a conquest battle, which in the case of the Obsidian Islands is going to be a naval battle, and that will draw this cultist out. So that's all nice, but for now we've got a cultist sitting on a beach 20 metres in front of us who needs killing right now. And all he appears to have with him, aside from a couple of prisoners, is one elite captain and a pair of cult guards. That shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. Oh, he's actually a her. That's fine. It's not a problem. I don't discriminate, I'll kill anybody. Let's try to attract her attention with a whistle. Maybe I'm not close enough. Or maybe she just has shit in her ears. She's stone deaf. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to take care of this cultist guard instead, since they appear to have very conveniently wandered out of line of sight of all the rest of their friends. We're going to sneak up and then insert something very long and sharp into their back. Nice. One cultist guard down, still one guard and the captain. Let's remove the body. Don't want anybody stumbling across it until we're ready. Oh, we'll take some... right. Okay. It turns out you can't actually loot anything while you're carrying a body. So now we'll dump the body in the bushes. One captain, one guard, and the cultists themselves remaining. And a couple of prisoners who need liberating as well. What's she doing? Is she actually going to sleep? I think she is. Well, this isn't going to be hard, is it? Yep. Let's get in there and give her a damn good shivving. There we go. Hang on. The captain is coming back this way. Okay, we're not going to confirm the kill just yet. Let's get back in the bushes. See where he's going. I think we're good. I think I can probably take them all down completely undetected. Yep. Stabbing for you, but not stabbings for everybody. I'm going to go for a knockout on this guy because I want to recruit him. He's got some very, very nice crew skills. My assassin damage isn't high enough for me to one-shot knockout, but I've got these flathead knockout arrows, and they certainly did a good job of finishing him off. I could have also used the Sparta kick ability because that's concussive or non-lethal damage. So that's kind of nice. Right. One cultist captain recruited to serve on board the Adrestia. And who are we going to replace with him? Tecton here? Turns out the cultist isn't actually that much better. In fact, they're probably about the same, but we'll take him anyway. And now, it's time to confirm this cultist kill, and get on loot, and get a clue as to the identity of yet another cultist. Stabbing
Greece is finally free of your influence.
Boots of Agamemnon. Very nice. Not part of the pirate set. Okay. Part of the Silver Vein subsect. We already have a couple of clues as to whoever this joker is. And our first clue as to the identity of this person. Whoever they are, there's information about them in a silver mine in Attica. Attica, of course, being the province of ancient Greece that includes the city of Athens, but of course you all knew that. And there's the legendary boots that I looted, the boots of Agamemnon, which isn't bad. A completely different set, by the way, the Agamemnon set, which you obtain from tracking down and executing all of the members of the Silver Vein subsect of the cult of Cosmos. Now, I'm sure you've all probably heard of Agamemnon. Although, if you have, most of you have probably only heard of him because of that terrible movie Troy, starring Brad Pitt as Achilles. Agamemnon was the king of Mycenae. Mycenae, along with Minos in Crete, they were sort of proto-Greek cultures. And his brother Menelaus was married to Helen, famously known as Helen of Troy, even though she wasn't a Trojan. She was actually the daughter of the king of Sparta. But Paris, the son of King Priam of Troy, who famously couldn't keep it in his pants and had a bit of a thing for young Helen, decided that she was the one for him. Didn't really care that she was married to Menelaus, the brother of the king of Mycenae, carried her off to Troy with him, thereby starting the entire 10-year-long sorry episode that we know now as the Trojan Wars. The Greek forces, during which, were commanded by Agamemnon. The whole Trojan War thing got off to a bit of a rocky start. Agamemnon personally assembled a force of 100 ships and was joined by other Greek princes. But the winds were against them, by all accounts, as a result of his having somehow offended the goddess Artemis, which is kind of strange. I mean, you would have thought that the winds on the Aegean Sea were more the province of Poseidon, the god of the sea, Artemis being the goddess of huntresses, but who are we to argue? And in order to appease Artemis and get favourable winds so that the fleet could actually sail and invade Troy, Agamemnon sacrificed his own daughter. And then after fighting in Troy for 10 years and eventually winning the war, he returned home, only to be murdered by his wife's lover. Still, I've got his boots, and that's what's important. I swear some of the stories of these ancient Greeks read like the plot of a South American daytime soap opera. Anyway, we're here. The island of Andros, and down there is the whole reason why Herodotos had us come here in the first place. What the hell is that? Well, we ain't going to find out from up here. Falling damage, by the way, won't kill you. It'll hurt until you reach level 20, at which point you don't take any damage from falling. There seems to be some loot here, which we're going to grab before we investigate whatever the hell this is.
How do I get inside? I wonder if...
Who's there? Come out!
Hesitation only hastens.
The grave, I know, Mater.
Your form is improving. Your resolve is strong, but you're not taking action.
I was going to.
I know, but it's the moments in between that decide everything. Your turn.
Leonidas' spear.
You're old enough now. My father's spear holds a certain burden, but you're ready.
I felt something.
Huh?
The spear. It has magic.
Carries with it a long line of power. A bloodline of incredible heroes. The same blood within you and me and our family.
All of us?
Think of Leonidas. He had great courage, and he made a great sacrifice. You share in his blood and the strength he possessed. we are able to feel certain things happening around us. That is our family's gift. But not everyone understands that. Some recognize the power we bear and want it only for themselves. They will try to take it from us.
I won't let them.
I know. You're a warrior. If we keep moving forward, always moving forward, we're untouchable. Storm's coming in.
Then maybe we should move forward now.
Mother, I haven't forgotten you. Built on this.
Anybody watching who's played the other Assassin's Creed games probably already has a fairly good idea of what this place is, or at least who built
How
it.
does a place like this exist?
We're going to be coming back here at regular intervals throughout the course of the rest of this game.
How could I even explain this to someone like Marcos?
This is where we're going to be upgrading the spear of Leonidas. And we're going to be upgrading it with the artifact fragments that we loot from dead cultists.
Something's glowing over there.
And that's where we're going to be doing our upgrading.
Forge activated. Synchronizing retransmission chronicity. Contact engaged.
We now interrupt our playthrough of Assassin's Creed Odyssey in order to completely break any sense of immersion that you might have been experiencing by taking us back to the present day. Thankfully, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey it does not do this very often, and it does all kind of make sense.
Deimos. The Forge.
I knew I let you stay in the Animus too long. Your vitals are crashing.
You don't understand. This confirms it. Cassandra didn't just have Isu technology. She had the means to improve it. Imagine how powerful the staff could be.
I admit, that could be an incredible find. But right now, I'm the doctor, and I take care of you. Now get some rest before you go back to Cassandra.
No time to rest. Abstergo goons could be tracking us down right now.
And the rest of us will be ready for them. If you burn out here, our mission will be done.
They told me you had a cheerful bedside manner.
Don't forget, we're a team. We'll back you up until you're finished your investigation.
I know. Kyoshi secured the loft yesterday and he's keeping an eye out. Elena's on call doing historical research.
And I'm here to talk if you're feeling any confusion from the Animus.
Always the therapist.
I'll go stretch my legs. Too bad we don't have access to the Abstergo gym anymore, huh?
Membership costs too much.
Purely for the benefit of anybody who actually enjoys this stuff from the previous Assassin's Creed games, there are a whole bunch of things on here you can click on and interact with, but I'm going to limit that to just the radio.
How's it going out there?
Well, no threats in view.
I'm glad we could work together again.
I believe our working methods are compatible.
Are you still upset about our last run-in with Abstergo? I'm sorry, I didn't realize those hills in Quebec were so steep. But hey, you and your Yakuza reflexes saved us. Sorry, ex-Yakuza.
We're all alive and our injuries have healed. That's what matters.
Of course, I'll return to the Animus, then follow the trail Herodotos left to find the staff. But there's so many possibilities, so many choices. There's no way to know which ones are right. You used to run part of the Japanese Brotherhood. What would you do?
Take things one step at a time, observe then act, or kill everyone and search their pockets for answers. You decide.
Thanks for watching our backs, Kiyoshi. I'll leave you to your work.
I'll report in if Abstergo drops by.
Right, that's enough of this bullshit. Let's get back into the Animus and continue Cassandra's adventure.
Are you sure you want to go back into the Animus right now? I get the impression you'll be there a long time.
Yes, I'm ready to go back to Cassandra.
All right. I'll be watching your back.
My spear is stronger now. The cult won't stand a chance.
So, spear upgrade. In order to power the upgrades for your spear, you're going to have to go around assassinating cultists and collecting their artifact fragment, and each level of upgrade for the spear costs successively more of these artifact fragments. But it's definitely worth doing for a number of reasons. First, a lot of the abilities that you have require a certain level of upgrade on the spear, and also the spear upgrades give you back more health every time you spend an adrenaline point, and they give you more adrenaline points to spend in the first place. So, hunting down these cultists and getting this spear upgraded is definitely going to be one of your priorities. Now that I have upgraded the spear, I'm actually able to take a higher level of the legendarily fun Sparta kick ability. Now, at this point, I do actually have enough spare artifact fragments to upgrade the spear to level 3. It requires 3 artifact fragments to upgrade the spear from level 2 to level 3. The problem is that I first have to get the quest to upgrade the spear. You see, you're not actually supposed to have that many fragments at this point in the game, but because I didn't come straight to the Isle of Andros after meeting Herodotos at Thermopylae, I stopped off along the way and snuffed out a couple of conveniently located cultists and picked up their artifact fragments.
Clear someone was here far before we were.
But because I don't yet have the quest to upgrade the spear of Leonidas, I can't actually go ahead and do it. First, I have to return to the Adrestia and speak to
Did Leonidas
Herodotus.
know this place existed?
Conveniently, however, once you've visited this place, it becomes a fast travel point, so it's very easy to get back here. First, I just have to speak to Herodotus. However, I'm not quite as alone here as I thought I was.
Time to talk!
Oh, it's you. That's my baby brother Alexios. Although, he answers to the name of Deimos now.
You're not hard to track.
Did you come alone? Are you all right? Alexios, you're alive!
Don't touch me.
Come on, little brother. You have to tell me everything. What's happened to you?
I don't have to tell you anything. I don't know you.
Well, I know you. It doesn't matter. There's more important things to argue about.
You're right. Like that stunt you pulled with the artifact. It got my attention, if that's what you wanted.
What? The artifact showed the truth. We're family. And we made it out of Sparta alive.
Yes, it did show the truth. It confirmed what I always knew. You threw me off a fucking mountain!
No I didn't.
If that's what you think, Alexios, you must have hit your head on the way down.
I've heard this story, and not from a liar like you. And never call me Alexios.
Right. Deimos. Now him, I don't know.
He's a demigod, worshipped and feared by the cult and all the Greek world.
Sounds like a fantasy to me. Did the cult cook that story up too?
I'd watch your fucking mouth, or I'll shut it for you.
You didn't when you had the chance before, and I bet you won't now. This is stupid. We need to find our mother.
I'm not interested in reunion. I just want to know what you think you're doing.
Same thing as your cult. Looking for Myrrine, our mother.
They don't need her.
Your cultists think differently. She's their next target.
If they ever pursued her, it would be to kill her. But if you don't know where she is, that means she abandoned you too. How sad.
Even if we were abandoned, we survived. We can go back to the way things were if we can find her.
The cult has no interest in sentimentality or family. Its only aim is control.
If they're after all of us, there's one less person to find. I killed Nikolaos.
Yet here you are, acting so righteous, when really, you're just like me.
I don't care what you think. I'll find Myrrine. Do the right thing. Come with me.
What?
We could find her. Together. You could help me.
Oh, you think friendship is the answer? Running around like lost children looking for dear mother. You're so weak.
He is such a dick.
It's responsibility, not weakness. I won't abandon the whole family just for spite.
Responsibility? Get off your high horse. The cult has a plan, and it won't be interrupted by the likes of you.
I'm going after the cult, you know.
You've seen our numbers. You've seen what I can do. And you still think you stand a chance?
Try me.
So having guts runs in the family, does it? You claim we have the same blood. So let's see what you can do.
Cassandra, smack him. You could do better than that.
You'll have to be stronger than that.
Yeah, bit of a dick. Although he didn't kill us, which he could easily have done, because he's level 35.
Deimos! Malaka. Herodotos won't believe this. I have to tell him what happened.
Good idea. Let's do that.
Well, was the legend true? Was it magnificent? What happened to you? And your spear?
Slow down, Herodotos. My spear's stronger now. I can feel it. You were right, there was some kind of artifact there. It showed me a vision. Of me and my mother.
So, the ancient civilization is real. Cassandra, you have no idea the power you possess. All harnessed in Leonidas' spear.
That's not everything. Deimos followed me here. The cult's already moving, he told me himself. They're going after us. My family, Perikles.
Why would he tell you? Unless it was a trap.
It doesn't matter. We have to get to Athens, to warn Perikles. And we need to find my mother before they do.
Then, we go to the Perikles. If Perikles is anywhere, he's there.
And finally, there it is. The quest to upgrade the spear. And it's really only now, at this point, after God knows how many hours of playing, 10, maybe 15 hours of playtime, that all of the pieces are finally in place. And the entire game is now ready to be played. Well, almost everything. There's still the question of who your real father is. Remember, Nikolaos told us that he was never our real father. But in order to open up that whole plot line, we're first going to have to track down and meet our mother, Myrrine. And in order to do that, we're going to have to go to Athens. We are going to be spending a lot of time in Athens, and so it's just as well that the developers have lavished... Well, just look at this. There's the Parthenon on top of the Acropolis. This city really is magnificent, and it's huge. The city of Athens in this game is probably bigger than the entire island of Kefalonia where we started.
Athens. Let's see what this city has in store for me.
And the level of detail that the developers have lavished on this place is nothing short of astonishing. The architecture is fantastic, as is the decoration, and historically authentic too. Note the statues scattered around the place. They're all painted. Most people think of Greek statues of just being white marble, but that's simply because in the 2,000 or so years that they've been around, all the paint has faded off. Originally, they look like that. And we know this because analysis of surviving Greek statues has revealed traces of pigmentation in the upper layers of the marble, which proved that back in the day, they were actually fully painted.
You'd better get out of here.
The watch will be vigilant here.
The naked statues here in Assassin's Creed Odyssey also have their genitalia intact, which again is something that people don't often associate with Greek statues. And that's purely and simply because, well, the archaeological heyday when people were going around and digging up and transporting Greek archaeological remains into museums was in the 18th and 19th century, usually by Victorian English archaeologists. And the thing about the Victorians, they didn't really like the naughty bits. So, unfortunately, most of the surviving Greek statues that you see in museums around the world have actually been vandalised by these Victorian archaeologists who knocked all the naughty bits off. The Greeks didn't have a problem with nudity, not at all. Just as an example, the Greek athletes who competed in the Olympic Games competed in the nude. We know this from looking at pottery, frescoes, and various different pieces of artwork that actually celebrate the Greek Olympics. Although they did have a bit of a curious double standard. Women were not allowed to watch the Olympics, just in case the sight of all those oiled and muscular young male bodies
Off we go now.
made them think strange and lustful thoughts. There was a separate subset of the Olympic Games in honour of the goddess Hera, the wife of Zeus, that was for women only. Whether or not female athletes competed naked as well, I have no idea.
Let's go.
Although it wouldn't surprise me if they did. Now, as to whether or not the men were allowed to watch the female athletes competing, I have no idea, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if they were. Anyway, we've made it.
The Spartans may draw near to our walls, but we must come together now for the glory of Athens! Glory for you!
Friends, please! Just because the Spartans are near our walls does not mean we can act like them! A good crop! Shame the Spartans burned the fields where it grew! The Parthenon is glorious, Perikles, but at what cost? How many triremes could we have built instead?
We must not become divided!
We are divided! And the Spartans are winning! Act, Perikles, or I will!
Oh, good. You came. Things are worse than I feared. Cleon has turned the mob. We have to hurry.
Where?
To Perikles.
Pericles, the father of democracy, and Cleon, the Git.
Stay back! She's no threat to Perikles. I assure you.
Ah, Herodotos. It's fine. Let them through.
It's good to see you again, Perikles.
And you as well. I only wish it were under better circumstances. And who's this?
Cassandra.
Welcome, Cassandra. And what did you think of your first taste of Athens?
I think you and Cleon both made good points.
Good points aren't at all what the crowd seem to care about. They're afraid, and Cleon indulged their fear.
Perikles, we've come to...
We must choose our moment wisely, and speak our words more privately.
Fine. We've come to you on urgent business.
As does everybody.
I may have told Cassandra you'd invite her to your symposium.
You'd ask me to exclude every Athenian and invite an outsider instead. You heard the crowd. They don't need another reason to hate me.
If she's working for you, maybe the prying eyes will see her as a servant.
I'm no one's servant.
Cassandra, this is Athens. If you want something, sometimes you have to play a role.
And what exactly is it that you want?
I'm looking for a woman who's very important to me. Herodotos said a symposium could be useful for gaining information.
He would be correct. I can get you in, although I can't promise the information you seek will be found.
Just tell me what to do.
First, check on my colleague, Mediochos. He was meant to meet me today, and it's not like him to miss an appointment.
Done.
My friend, Phidias, needs to be taken out of Athens as soon as possible.
Anything else?
Yes. There's an ostracism vote taking place that could use your influence.
Phidias? The famous sculptor? What did he do, exactly?
He stands accused of multiple offenses and is awaiting trial. You'll find him under close guard at his workshop.
Metiochos. You said he was your colleague?
A politician and ally. He's one of my most loyal friends.
Ostracism?
Exile is a term you may be more familiar with. Here in Athens, we vote between two people to decide who should leave.
It's between the sophist, Anaxagoras, and another man, on trial for impiety. My contact near the Agora will give you the details.
I'll do it.
I'll expect you to use discretion.
That went well. It isn't exactly an invitation, but the promise of one is just as good. Although I'm sure he'll still ask Aspasia if it's okay.
So long as it comes.
So, we've made it to Athens, we met Perikles, and it turns out he's about as much use as an ashtray on a motorbike, and wants us to do stuff for him before he's prepared to do anything for us. We are going to be spending quite some time in Athens, taking in the sights, meeting various extremely famous historical Greek figures, and all of that is going to be coming up in the next episode of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And in the meantime, as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.